So, you've got lower back pain. Bummer. Just kidding. Let's fix it. What's up guys, Austin back with another video. So today we're talking about lower back pain and how to fix it and how you can do something that you might have never thought of as a stretch to help fix your lower back pain permanently. But before we get into that, it's important for us to understand the effect that our muscles have on other parts of our body. So to start this off, I'm going to use the example of the chest. Now let's think about what a tight muscle is. When people say your muscles are tight, that usually means that they are tending to be in the contracted position. So if we think about our chest, and if our chest muscle is tight, that means that our chest is tending to be in the contracted position, which would move our shoulders forward and down, which creates sort of this rounded posture. So a lot of people deal with tight chest. And the tightness of these muscle groups happen from us not stretching them out. Okay, so what does chest have to do with our lower back? It doesn't necessarily, but another muscle group does. Let's think about our hamstrings. Hamstrings? Huh? Hamstrings aren't lower back. They are more lower back than you think. Let's take a look at where our hamstrings originate from. They originate from a place called the ischial tuberosity, and on the posterior end of that. Looking at this bone structure here, those are our hips. So our hamstrings, they originate on the posterior end at the bottom of our hips. Now, from this position, you can imagine that if the hamstring muscle is tight, if it's constantly trying to be in the contract, the shortened position, well, what does that end up doing to our hips? Well, it pulls our hip girdle down and forward. And what does that create? That creates an overall rounded lower back posture. You're like, okay, so tight hamstrings, rounded lower back, what does that have to do with anything? Well, think about what you do for most of your life. You sit. You're sitting down constantly. So you can imagine, especially if you work like a desk job, if you're sitting at your desk with tight hamstrings and having your hips rounded and your lower back right underneath you the whole time, that's putting your lower back in a chronic state of strain, literally for hours upon hours every single day. And if you're someone who, does exercise like either on a bike or on the rowing machine, well, then this is compounded even further, because what are you doing on those two machines? You're sitting on your butt. And if you're not constantly thinking about how you're sitting, and if your hamstrings are tight, you're just putting your lower back in more of a strained state. So that idea of the hamstrings having an effect on our lower back really puts into concept how all of our muscles can affect each other, and how we are not just made up of individual muscles doing individual things, and that all of our muscles work together to keep our body in a good, stable position, if they're all stretched and worked properly. So we need to take care of the hamstrings in order to take care of our lower back. So how do we do that? One stretch. All you need is one. We're going to take our legs out nice and straight, reach the arms to the sky. You're just going to breathe out and reach forward. Now this is early for me. I'm not very flexible first thing in the morning, but I'm reaching as far as I can right here, trying to keep my back as straight as possible. Now, when it comes to holding this hamstring stretch, what I find helps the most is if you take an inhale, exhale, and reach a little farther. Inhale, exhale, and reach a little farther, and oh my goodness, it is so uncomfortable to hold this position. There's a reason why we have tight hamstrings and we don't like to stretch them, is because it's uncomfortable. But if you can hold it for 20 to 30 seconds, every exhale, trying to inch forward a little more, just holding on, uncomfortable, and then release. Take it easy for a little bit. Do that again for another 30 seconds. So you've done two 20 to 30 second stretches. Do that 3 times a day when you wake up, in the middle of the day, like during a lunch break or whatever, and then before you go to bed. Just take 3 minutes out of your day. That's only a minute more than brushing your teeth if you brush your teeth once a day. So it's less than brushing your teeth if you brush twice a day, which you should. Anyway, 3 minutes out of your day to stretch your hamstrings. First thing you'll notice is that after a couple days, your flexibility is going to go through the roof. Because when we actively try to stretch out these muscle groups, and any muscle group for that matter, our body adapts very, very quickly. So you'll notice your flexibility improve dramatically. And after a couple days, you might even have no lower back pain. So if you feel like your lower back pain is truly inhibiting you from, living a nice life, then take the time to stretch. Don't be like, oh yeah, okay, stretch more, blah, blah, blah. No! Do it! Just sit on your butt right now. Sit on your butt right now and take 60 seconds to go through that stretch. You're going to notice a huge, huge difference after just a couple days. So remember that all of our muscles and bones, we're all connected as one human. And we need to take care of these other muscle groups in order to relieve pain and relieve strain from other muscle groups. So give this hamstring stretch a try. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you guys want to see next. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next video.